Alright, here's your video on rational expression. So this is the last page in your packet of notes. This is the last thing we are going to go over before we take our first quiz. So this one should be relatively short. There's not a whole lot of notes. There's just a lot of practice. So I'll do the first little part and I'll kind of point out some stuff for you to remember. And then I'll do a separate video with some examples. All right, so if we look at rational expressions, when we say rational expressions, we're referring to a quotient of two polynomial expressions. So like we have here a polynomial over another polynomial. And it is important to note these two here, x plus y over y plus x is equal to 1. I mean, it's the same thing. And the same thing with x minus y over y minus x. If you flip those with subtraction, that's equal to -1. Okay, so when you're simplifying them, these rational expressions, so you have a polynomial over another polynomial, the only thing I'm going to say about that right now is that you need to factor first. Okay, so you need to factor both the denominator and the numerator, okay, and then usually you can see what might be canceling out of the numerator and denominator once you factor it, because then you're getting things that are being multiplied together and you can cancel them out. Okay, and then that would be the simplifying part. So factor and then simplify. So you're looking for things like here we see 64k cubed and -1 or +1. Those are all cubes, and there's a subtraction, so I'll probably be using difference of cubes. So these are the way that you are going to need to be thinking about this, simplifying rational expressions. Okay, if you're multiplying or dividing rational expressions, you have, this is one rational expression, this is another one. They're being multiplied together. You know, if you're multiplying two fractions, you know you're going to multiply the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. It's the same concept with when you're working with rational expressions, although it looks, excuse me, super messy. It's the same idea, but always, always, always you're going to factor first and then simplify. Okay? For division, so these are essentially just large and complicated fractions, you know. For division, you're multiplying by the reciprocal. And as you could probably guess, before you multiply, you're going to factor. Okay, so I would just get in the habit of factoring, you know, I would factor the numerator here, factor this here, factor each denominator. Okay, once you get those factored, then you can multiply by the reciprocal and then see what's going to be canceling out to simplify. When you're adding and subtracting rational expressions, like I said, these are just complicated fractions, so you're going to look for the common denominators and then combine and simplify. And for complex fractions, it's just what is the word? Combination of these previous steps. So you're gonna want to combine the numerator and denominator into a single fraction. Okay, so that means like here, you're gonna want to just take this numerator and you're gonna make it a single fraction. Instead of two terms, you're gonna make it one term. And then you're going to do the same thing with the denominator. And then once you have one term over one term, then you are going to multiply by the reciprocal. And then lastly, you're going to simplify. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of everything on here. This looks like it's probably going to be fairly time consuming, so don't wait to start on this. And then you have a homework that is attached to this. Okay, I'll post another video. I'll pick out a couple of these examples to do for you. And then, of course, you can post on Padlet or send me a message if you need additional help. Okay, good luck.